Hey everyone here that is watching on the stream. I'm getting ready to do the
What's
AMA
up?
with
What's
the whale
up?
community.
Just
Hey,
letting everyone kind of join up in here as Whale Shark dumps a whole lot of whale on the community. Already, you see that the interest is peaking, so let's give people a few more minutes. BitBender, aka Jason, is here from Gala Games. Just gonna give everyone a few more seconds to join up.
so yeah, hopefully you guys can hear that. I'm gonna go pop over here and check the stream and see if anyone can hear that. Can you guys
Yep,
hear them speaking
we
on
can
the
hear
line as well?
we can hear you now here in Discord. I just had to unmute you, so
Awesome,
you're looking good here. Yep.
cool, man. Was just making sure the Theta stream was going as well, and it looks like it is. So I think we're good. How you doing today, man?
Just getting I had my Theta stream going on at the same time, so I'm like, whoa, what's going on? All right, cool, 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 cool. I'm doing
Recursive.
well. I'm doing well. I'm doing
Good.
well. Just it's a nice day. Crypto's mooning. It's never a better day than when that's happening. So,
Got to get those green candles, man.
oh,
Ether literally just cracked 1600.
Did it
nice.
really?
Yeah, literally watching it right now.
Beautiful.
All right, just a few more seconds while we let people run up in here.
No worries. I'm glad you saw Gala on Brave this morning, Yehoshsi. That's good. That means it's doing what it's supposed to do. Its graphics are pretty awesome, aren't they? Mirandus is going to be so cool. I'm really looking forward to this. Hello, Bogdan. Cryptic One. I recognize you from our Discord, I think, don't I? I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do.
I'm sure we have a few overlapping fans, right?
Of course we do.
NFT spaces popping off. It's huge. And everyone wants to stay up to date with everything at all at once. So
Right? We got Anders. Morning Anders. XP Wow. Yeah, the NFT space is really interesting. I bought a hash mask the other day, and I was super happy with that. It's a very interesting art project. I love the creativity and the life that is coming into the entire ecosystem. It's really cool. It's a very fun time to be in this area.
I agree. Art is the gateway. It's
It
becoming a
really
gateway,
is,
right?
right? Right? It's a gateway.
Because you started off maybe with some people started off maybe with NFT games and stuff like that, and then got into crypto. But now art is kind of bringing in a whole new slew of people that again don't know about crypto but enjoy looking at nice things.
Enjoy looking at nice things like the hash masks thing was a really interesting experiment. I thought it was really brilliant from an economic perspective. Yeah, yeah, and I was a latecomer on hash masks too. I didn't get in until the last two tiers, I think, or three tiers maybe. I did not buy a 100 Ethereum hash mask, but somebody did. Hey, Jolric. He's very active in the Gala Games Discord. Very nice to see him here.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. If we have some members that are just joining in now from over there, appreciate you coming over and catching this stream, learning a little bit about, well, teaching us about Gala Games and learning about what we do here.
Yeah, awesome. I'm happy. I will follow your lead in all things.
Well, today is about it's about you. It's 12 p.m. on the dot here, 1 p.m. Eastern. I mean, 11 a.m. Eastern. So let's kick it off. We've got a
Okay,
nice
man.
crowd of over 45 people here. All right, Jason, welcome to the Whale Discord server.
Thank you very
And
much.
and welcome to the community as a whole. I'm sure that there's plenty of people. As big as it is, there's people here that might not know much about Gala Games,
That is fair.
uh, myself included. So I'll be asking fairly noob questions, or just listening intently because I want to know more myself of what's going on over there,
Sure.
and because the hype is real. The hype is real.
Well, more than the hype, the project is real, which I think is a really important key
Oh,
differentiating factor.
correct, correct.
So, Gala Games essentially was founded by Eric Schiermeyer, who is one of the co-founders of Zynga, and our main game developer, Michael McCarthy, he's the studio director. Was he worked on Farmville 2? He was the creative director of Farmville 2, which had 110 million DAU at, or no, I'm sorry, 34 million DAU at its top, and was involved in a lot of different games, including some really, really awesome RPGs back through the last 15 years. He was involved in both Fallout 2, one of my favorite games called Arcanum. He worked for Troika and Black Isle and a bunch of different studios like that. Super, super talented, amazing world builder. And so basically, what we want to do is to give people ownership of their in-game assets. Now, this is an NFT community. I know that you guys all understand what that means. I think one of the things that differentiates us from other projects in the space is that we approach everything from fundamentally a game forward perspective. And we focus really on how do we build something that can be used to onboard millions of users rapidly, and that's kind of the direction that we're going in, and that's what Gala is, and that's the sort of central tenet in our ecosystem is how do we build something amazing that lots and lots and lots of people can use. So that's a little bit
Awesome.
of what we're working on. We've got a couple different games. The game that's already been released is Townstar, which you guys should definitely check out. It looks super simple. It will kick your ass. And we're working on Mirandus as well as a few other things too that we haven't announced yet.
Okay, that there that's a lot to unpack. Maybe the games.
Sure.
We have our team member here, Gigi, and he's more of the gamer amongst us.
Cool.
And I'm sure we would love to do a stream that's totally dedicated on us watching the gameplay and what's going, like all the different things, aspects of the game. But I think
We
for
have
now,
some. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, just for now, like more mostly, this is like a project showcase on Gala
Yep.
itself, which you introduced remarkably well. The credentials are definitely there for your project to be even more of a success. So I'm sure you know everything about it. I think the first question would be, what kind of made what made everyone kind of decide to do the blockchain thing, right?
I think the thing that drove. I mean, everyone comes to blockchain for their own reasons, right? And every single person who's listening to this knows that they entered blockchain because there was something that was particularly interesting to them that they wanted to get involved in. They liked the idea of ownership of their own assets. They liked the idea of not having to go through intermediaries. I think that when you combine everyone's sort of motivations for getting into blockchain, you'll kind of find all of us together at Gala. I've been in the blockchain space since 2014, and I saw it as a way to kind of bring transparency and credibility to initially the foreign aid market. How do we deliver aid to people without it getting lost along the way? I did some relief work in Haiti and places like that, and you would see billions of dollars of aid flow into a country, and it would just poof and vanish. And so I wanted to find a way to fix that. From everyone else's perspectives, especially in the gaming area, both Eric and Michael and a lot of our team came from, traditional AAA gaming backgrounds. They looked at it from the perspective of, here we have all of these people who are paying, game companies, millions and millions of dollars to buy stuff, and then they decide they don't want to play the game anymore, and well, it's just like, well, that's too bad. you gave us money, so now it's done, right? And so we didn't like that. We felt that that was really unethical, and we wanted to find a way to fix that. And so that's what we're doing.
Excellent. So yeah, taking all that experience and trying to do good things is a great motivation to have and a great use case for the blockchain, right?
Oh, it's huge, man. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's about trying to use new emerging technologies and emergent human behaviors to really fix the problems that have been plaguing humanity for a long time. Blockchain can do that in a way that nothing else can. And I mean, I don't want to be like one of those sort of like rainbows in the sky, blockchain is everything people, because it's not. But it definitely it's a major critical point that can be used to fix some of these problems that we're encountering systemically as a global society.
Excellent, excellent.
Morning, whale
Well,
shark.
well, yeah, Whale Shark's excited about this project as well. Same
Good.
same kind of deal. Would like to know, the what's going on the inner workings and he hasn't invested into something new in a while. I think the last one might have been Top Shot. So
Well,
something like
he
what?
must be doing quite well for himself then at this point in time. So, Top
Well,
Shots is doing pretty well.
he no longer does things for himself. It's a collective we now.
The royal we.
The
Awesome.
royal we. We are doing well on that project. I think it
Good.
was over $20 million, I believe, in valuation. Um,
Yeah, no, it's been pretty incredible to watch, and I understand the concept of being a servant of the whale people. I get
nice.
that. I am a servant of the Gala people. This is what I'm here for.
Excellent. Okay. So you currently have two games out, or one
One
out
game
and
out,
one.
one that we're working on.
Right, right, right. Um, how was the beginning part? Like, I'm sure getting something off the ground. You have the background that'll
Right.
kind of carry you over uh, enough, right? But it
Mm-mm.
took some hard work. What
Oh,
were
always.
mostly like? What was some of the challenges that you faced or that you see in this market, jumping into the whole new market? Yeah.
Into the whole new market, I think the biggest thing is that you have this process of essentially you create a target for yourself. You work towards that target. You discover all of the unknown unknowns that get in your way, and then you have to find a way to work through those issues. Sometimes they're technical issues. Sometimes they're process issues. There's just normal business scaling issues. We're a real company. We have, I think, 16 full-time employees right now that are working nonstop on this, and we're really pushing everything forward. And as we scale, there are little things that pop up every now and then that we have to work through. So I think it's the maintaining the flexibility and the ability to push forward through obstacles and innovate solutions around some challenges that pop up. That's, I think, been the most interesting thing about this entire process for us.
Right. Okay. Um, a lot of it's that get into this space or NFTs or even crypto. Period. A lot of people say that you're crazy because they don't understand or
Yep.
they don't want to invest or whatever. So how was it? You guys coming from such a corporate background or gaming industry. How was it? Trying to explain to those people what you were trying to do, like.
Well, we still have that. We still have that challenge internally on occasion. There are people who work on our team who are amazing, hyper talented, just absolutely crushing at people who look at the blockchain space sometimes and go, "This is insane. This is absolutely insane." And for example, like if you come from a corporate background, the idea that you would use Discord as like your primary means of communication with the world seems crazy. Like it just seems crazy because it's so organic. It flows back and forth. You wake up in the middle of the night and there's like some random person who's dropped in and started a flame war, and that's like your main corporate face to the world. And that's one of the things that It's kind of funny, and people have to adjust to, because there's just an entirely different ethos and a community-based center of blockchain that shows up that you just simply don't have in any sort of like outside corporate space.
Right.
And yeah, that is totally how Discord works.
I think it's funny, right? Because maybe in the farm bill days, there might have been a forum or a support email address that you
Right.
people send things to, but now you have this very very intimate connection with the team building this stuff, and
Very.
maybe that sort of stemmed from how open the blockchain has was started with, right? Like
Oh, for sure.
everyone wants to know the team because of trust issues and don't trust verify and all that good stuff.
For sure.
So
For sure.
seeing big corporations and big teams just jump into Discord and have to relearn the way they communicate is has been interesting.
It's interesting. It's fun. I mean, I love our Discord. Like I realize I'm here in the whale Discord, and so I will give you guys the position of the second best Discord on the internet. But our
We can be Cypher
Discord,
first.
yeah, okay, perfect, awesome. Our Discord is amazing, and I love our community so much. They do like they keep things so well regulated and so positive. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It is like that, the face of your company at this point, and I'm stoked to see more people use it. I remember CryptoKitties days. It was Telegram, and we moved to Discord, and it was like this is where we need to be.
Right, right.
I'm glad that's still going. I dropped a link there for everyone in our Discord
Awesome.
that is
Thank you, man.
not yet joined. Yes. So there's a few facets or things going on within Gala Games, the games themselves, and then you
Hmm.
have your token.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you introduced the token, how it's going to be used, and what's
Sure.
going on there?
Sure. So essentially, the way that the token works, Gala is the sort of central unifying tent pole that holds up all of the Gala Games ecosystem. And essentially, it serves as the means to move value back and forth between game ecosystems, and as a reward specifically for the node owners who are operating the Gala Games nodes. And that's essentially what it does. So you can buy items, you can buy NFTs from Gala Games with the Gala token. You can trade it on exchanges. You can trade it with one another. And eventually, once the ecosystem's a little bit more developed, Gala will enable you to get discounts on certain items within the ecosystem. So that's going to be, oh, hey, there's a chart. That's a nice looking chart. I like that. Um, but
Chart,
yeah, so
charts
go
that
ahead.
go from bottom left to top right are always
Those are
always
those
good
are those are
charts.
nice. Those are nice charts. So yeah, that's essentially what Gala does. And it as a reward for the node ecosystem. Can we touch on how nodes run the game? Yeah, I'll deal with that in just a second. That's a kind of bigger issue. Yeah, that's what Gala does, and I'm a
Okay.
big fan.
Okay, so now that we have an understanding of that and the nodes, then that topic I'm still a little not educated enough on.
Sure,
So
sure.
what's up with the nodes?
Well, okay, so the nodes are kind of an interesting part of the ecosystem here. So essentially, what we want to do is we want to and eventually be able to create a fully decentralized game management platform. Okay, so think of this as Steam, okay, but decentralized. Okay, and what eventually we want to have happen is these nodes will serve as essentially the base layer that will support a global content delivery network, which game files will be hosted on and which will handle some processing that's typically handled by centralized servers at this point in time. Now, of course, this is a thing that we are working towards, so it does not do that yet. But we are running at this really hard because we see this as being a fundamentally important part of all of this, is because if you have games that are based purely on, a few Amazon S3 instances or something like that, and you have people who own NFTs that can be used in those games, and those Amazon S3 instances go down, then those NFTs are cool art, right? But we want to preserve functionality. We want to make it so that people are able to use their NFTs, own their NFTs, and have the games that those NFTs function within actually function in a distributed fashion. Now, there are some, we were talking a little bit about technological hurdles. There's definitely stuff that we're running into as we move forward with that, but it's something that we're super, super, super dedicated to advancing. There's some articles on our Medium page, which you can get at gogalagames.medium.com, that explain the node ecosystem. I can post them in here in a second, but I don't have the links in front of me right now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically what the node ecosystem does.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so that's how the token ties into the nodes.
Yeah.
And let's see, we had a really good question from Nightmare. Um, if I can kind of get to that, because a few people said that it was a really good question. Thinking back to the implementation of Diablo 3 auction house and the uproar it caused, can you talk to the evolution of the current mainstream gaming market sentiment and receptiveness to liquid, movable in-game assets? Nightmare, that was a mouthful, my man.
Well, I think that when you look at this, I think the problem with the Diablo 3 auction house is that it wasn't built into it wasn't really an integral part of the economy, and there wasn't actually built-in verifiable scarcity in that, which I think was kind of one of the challenges that happened with that. Now, I did not play Diablo 3, so I can't specifically speak. I kind of stopped playing Diablo at Diablo 2. I'm sorry, I just never got beyond being a necromancer and throwing bone spears. But I think that what we're doing, Diablos are great games, but what we're doing is introducing this concept of verifiable scarcity that will enable the ecosystem within the games to develop and sort of find its own level. Does that answer your question? I hope.
Let's see. He's typing. Man, you have some really, really good team members and or just community members, because they are getting to these questions before we can even ask them.
Dude, like I said, we have an amazing Discord. These people are incredible.
That's what's up. That's really, really helpful for the overall growth of everything.
It is. No, it's super important. Like I can't even tell you. Okay, we had an instance in our Discord yesterday, where somebody popped into the Discord, and you know how you just get people who just, like, I don't know, they wake up and think to themselves, like, how can I make someone's day unpleasant or something like that, and then they pick a random Discord and they go make it unpleasant. We had this guy show up in the Discord and just started, like, spewing vitriol, like, completely randomly, untargeted, didn't have any sort of, like, questions. There were no questions, just like, oh, well, scary idea that has no basis in reality. Let me say that in a scary way. And I mean, I popped in, but by the time I got there, the community was so effectively dealing with, like, all of the like, just total FUD and shenanigans. And it was just such an amazing thing to watch. So, everyone's amazing. I love you guys.
Excellent, excellent. Um, how has been? I mean, I see you have a ton of people following the company on Twitter, on
Yeah.
Discord. There's a pretty packed house. As far as marketing, how like have you ramped that up? I see that you're working with grow your
We're
base a bit, right?
we're working with grow your base a bit. So our policy is that we will work with just about anyone that wants to build a better and more integrated functional ecosystem. We're working with Grow Your Base. We're working with a bunch of different people. I'll get to your question in just a second, Punjab. We're dealing, for example, we just recently announced a partnership with Flare. We're talking to a bunch of different people that will help us kind of grow into this ecosystem. And you guys are a very important part of this as well. And we're connecting with streamers, and we're connecting with like Crypto Euclid here, who's in the chat. He has an awesome show that he does, and we're sponsoring shows and streamers and all of that. And so for us, the way that I look at it is this, and please, community, feel free to pipe up if you guys want. I think that what we're doing is so different from what sort of exists in the mainstream that all that we need to do is to actually have an honest discussion with people and say, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to build. This is how you can help. Okay, you can be a part of this as well. And if we're having these really tight, genuine conversations, people respond very well to that. People are used to kind of getting the brush off. They're used to talking to people. And getting ignored, or getting sort of like the corporate boilerplate response. And we try very hard not to do that, and respond to people like Mystical Oaks, who I love very much, who's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. It's about responding to the community, because at the end of the day, all of this is based, everything is based on the idea that we have to believe that we're working together on something. And if we're working together on something, and if everybody is pulling their weight, you will see amazing things happen. And if people get afraid and they're scared and they don't want to engage with the community, then that's where you start having problems, and you start having communication issues. And where there's a lack of communication, serious fear starts to develop. So that's why we're always very, very quick to jump on streams and jump on chats and talk to people and really engage, because it's that engagement that really makes a difference. And Gala the Kid, we can totally have a few beers. We will do a beer stream at some point in time in the very near future. Promise.
Okay, so it sounds like your response is usually not, you'll get it when it's ready.
No, because like oh, we're working on it. Go away. Things take time. And yes, all of that is true. Things do take time, but people need to understand what we're doing. And I think that a lot of times, projects in general are very quick to sort of like dismiss people's concerns or just push them away as irrelevant. And I don't think you can really do that. I think you have to really connect. Yes, John, the Thune, very Thune. But anyway, that's a little bit of how we handle marketing.
Okay, cool. How's the relationship been with Grow Your Base? I had the pleasure of meeting them.
Oh, they're cool. They're super cool guys. They're super cool. We did an NFT drop, and that's something that we'll probably I'll offer to you guys as well. We'll set up like a little forum so people can come claim an NFT. They're really, really neat guys.
Okay, awesome. I see a few questions flying by related to mobile.
Mobile.
Everyone has the phone in their face.
Of course they do.
Are you thinking of something native? Because I played Townstar on my phone before.
Right.
Decent experience, but people want that native stuff. Can you speak a little bit about?
Yes, I can. This is one of my favorite topics. A lot of people don't really understand what goes into mobile development and sort of the the stranglehold that a very few companies have on the mobile development environment. So interesting thing is if you would like to put a game out on, either the Play Store, the iStore, they call it the iStore these days, the Apple Store, whatever.
iOS.
Yeah, iOS thing, whatever. Can you tell I'm a Android user? And or any of the other sort of platforms like that. On one hand, anything that circumvents their ability to extract money from their users is a terms of service violation and will get bounced. So if we were to release, a game on one of these platforms and then allow people to use blockchain to make transactions within those games, it would be circumventing their ability to charge for that, to take their 30%. And they all magically arrived at the 30% mark, by the way, which I think is really interesting. And that goes for Steam as well. Steam also charges about 30% for their, any sort of income that comes across their platform. And so, yeah, that's sort of what happens. And that makes it so that you really can't put things out on the really big centralized marketplaces because they'll break them. And we do have an HTML5 web app that we have built and that you can access by going to the website app.gala.games, and it's pretty slick.
It is. It is. I can attest to that. I really had no issues using it that way. Um, Interesting thing also with this pandemic, I think people are starting to get back into the hardware game, like
Yeah,
PC wise. Let me beef this up. I'm not doing anything,
not doing
uh,
anything else. Yeah, I got a fan I got to
or,
swap out later today just for
or
grins.
just noticing that the phone can't do everything. When
Yep.
you were mobile, the mobile was great, but you're steady now, and then you're like, oh, I need to do 16 other things. I can't. This is not enough.
Yeah. No, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Hopefully down the line, restrictions do get easier. I think the iOS store have kind of did something to drop some rates after a certain amount of
Right.
stuff like that. So the grip is loosening, especially because these Web3 apps or HTML5 apps are running so good
Yeah.
that why even build one? Why
Right.
even
Why
build a
why would
native?
you go through this so essentially, and this is kind of our goal in this entire ecosystem, is that we want to see everybody have access to a greater degree of freedom through and choice in what they use and how they play. That's like a massive thing for us. And as we build this and as this platform gets bigger, it's probably going to begin putting pressure on organizations that uh, you know, don't have the same ethos. Let's put it that way. Yes, Ask a Capper. We will definitely be putting some assets into Townstar in the future. I do not know when. I've seen that question go across a few times, so I just wanted to make sure I hit that.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
cool.
that
Yeah, so we'll be on the lookout. When it's ready, it'll be ready on mobile, right?
yeah. When it's ready, it'll be on mobile. No, we always want to release as much stuff on mobile as we can. We just can't do it through the app stores because they literally won't let us.
Right, right.
We sorry, reading questions and trying to talk at the same time. Shouldn't do that.
Don't
Um,
worry, I have them. I have them written down. So Nightmare's doing a good job at sending them over to me. So
nice,
we're gonna get to them.
nice. So when you try to release something on these, they'll actually block it. Like you'll submit it for approval. Maybe they'll approve it, but the second that you do a code update or something and they realize, oh gosh, this is blockchain connected, then you get locked out, and that's a bummer.
Another question that you said we were gonna touch on is the sidechain Flare.
Flare, working with Flare, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's a sidechain is a big buzzword these days because obviously these gas
it
prices
is.
are crazy. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So Flare, when you talk to Flare, they consider themselves a base layer, and I actually had a really great talk with Hugo Fillion, who's the one of the founders of Flare, who went ahead and we released a press release together, which you can see on our Medium as well. But essentially, what Flare is going to do is it's going to enable us enable our users to mint NFTs without going through the same sort of high gas Ethereum process. And so they'll be able to trade and move things around more easily. In the long term, we want to have multiple options for people. We want to be chain agnostic in as great a sense as possible, because honestly, the more we can integrate and create a node, or not a node ecosystem, sorry, again, reading, and an ecosystem where people are able to, connect and move things freely across chains with bridges and things like that, the better it's going to be. So if you want to be on Flare, you can be on Flare. If you want to be on Matic, you can be on Matic. We're going to be integrating more than one solution going forward. And from a gaming perspective, it's super easy for us because it's just adding one more thing to index. It's not that big of a lift once it's in the game. It just makes it easier for the users and allows people to, use whatever they feel like using.
Excellent. We have people that feel very strongly about their chains and do not want to.
Oh, for sure. And that's fine. And if you don't want to switch to anything else, I don't want to make you. Like, if that's what makes you happy to stick with whatever that solution is, we're certainly happy to especially if they're EVM compatible, because we have all of the smart contracts and things like that. We're very willing to have conversations and connect with people, and work with other chains. That's what we want to do.
Okay.
It's not we're yeah, sure.
Just because we're on the Flare topic, and it's not a bad question, but I've seen it brought up in other projects as well.
Sure.
Someone said, Groove asked, are there any concerns that a Flare NFT is less valuable or more restrictive than an ETH NFT? I'm sure you've thought this through.
So ultimately, the way that I look at this is this. You could think of it in terms of geography. Okay. You might have a Flare NFT, and if this would be the equivalent of being in the desert and being the one person who has water. Okay. If that NFT does not exist in great quantity on the Flare side of things, then that's, it may be more valuable for the people within the Flare ecosystem. So you could, hypothetically speaking, purchase this NFT somewhere else, get it on Matic, bridge it over to Flare, and then from there, sell it within the Flare ecosystem and potentially be able to arbitrage in that way, if that's what you want to do. Does that make sense? I mean, it's not, yes, there is going to be differences, but that's not something we can really control. It's all about where the NFT is and where people want to use it. It's just a simple supply and demand issue.
Okay. Hope that answers your question, Groove.
If it doesn't, Groove is definitely going to send me messages. That's totally fine.
We're kind of on our second half here. We've learned not a little bit. We've learned a lot about Gala, the token, the nodes, and what you guys are doing to further, reach more people and all that good stuff. So, one of the big things that's making the rounds and causing people to be more interested is Mirandus. Right?
Yes.
What's up with Mirandus? Tell us a little bit about that, just as you did with Gala.
Okay, so Mirandus is an MMORPG, and it is something that all of us are super, super, super passionate about. We see Mirandus as kind of being the flagship of what we're doing because it speaks so directly to the ethos behind Gala Games. I'm going to go into that just a little tiny bit. We one of the reasons that we're doing this, and one of the reasons that we like the play to earn model, okay, that's tossed around a lot, but one of the reasons that we really like this is that it enables people to get into a game and to make just a little tiny bit of potential income from playing that game through grinding and, you know, picking up objects and selling them to other people. This is something that we see as super important. Now, the reason that this is super important is that in the secondary market right now for in-game assets, and this is not in-game blockchain assets, this is like skins and whatnot in other AAA games where you're technically not supposed to be trading them with one another. That market is a $50 billion a year market right now. Okay, and that's with all of this counterparty risk and the fact that if you try to if you did actually sell your items, you know, you could get, you know, hit with a terms of service violation. Your account could be deactivated. You could, you know, lose everything that way. What we see is very interesting about this is that there are parts of the world where if you are, you know, for example, I spent a decade in Southeast Asia, and in Southeast Asia, there or in Haiti or in the Philippines, or there's a lot of different places like this, where a couple dollars a week can really make a massive difference for somebody. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a way that people could make, you know, through playing, make a couple dollars a week collecting items, and then turn around and sell those to people who would easily, happily drop, you know, $20, $30, $40, $50 to buy in-game items that they can then play in their game. This enables a transfer of wealth from the people who have plenty in you know, some of the first world, where, I mean, how many people in this chat have gone on Steam, seen something on sale for $20, thought, yeah, I might like to play that, bought it, and then, you know, that was, you maybe even never went to play it, but you just bought it because it was $20 and on sale. Like, people do that all the time. And so we wanted to create a way that would allow that spend to move towards the people that need it most, specifically in countries that are still, you know, developing. So that's was one of the things that was really critical for us. Now, Mirandus itself is being built as an adventure simulator, okay? And so we look at this as a simulation. It's not like a normal MMORPG where you have a certain like spawn point that a monster goes to. You go into a dungeon, you know there's going to be 2 goblins in this room, 3 goblins in that room, a troll in that room, and a, you know, Balrog at the end that you have to beat who has a certain chance of dropping a certain item, etc. We don't like that as a general concept. We find it boring and hand-holdy, and we think that gamers are better than that. We wanted to go with something that would bring back the early days of adventure that you got from playing early RPGs, and sort of the sense of like crazy uncertainty that you even get with tabletop gaming, where you're collectively building an adventure with a group of your friends. That's what we wanted to bring back, and so that's kind of the core of Mirandus. Another major component of this that's very important is the property mechanic, and this is where who bought the Citadel? There's news coming out on that shortly. So one of the central components of this, and this is where the NFTs come in, by the way, is there's a property mechanic. So in the world, you imagine a massive open world, and you guys are seeing pictures that people are posting in here. You can go out into this world and you can take a deed if you have one, and you can stamp that deed down into the world. Okay, so if you have a homestead, which somebody just posted there, it has a couple little plots in it, as well as your little house. Now, your house is like a save point. You can go there, you can sleep, you can heal. all of that. And then the two little plots that are next to it, there's a farming plot and a crafting plot. These can actually be rented out to other people if you want. So they can then take a shop NFT, place it on top of your deed NFT, and that will enable them to, perform whatever crafting they want to do on your land, and then pay you a small amount of rent for this. Now this scales up all the way to the citadels, which there are only 5 of in the entire. Hey, Euclid, awesome, perfect. There are only 5 citadels, and these are people that we've connected to. There's one of them has been sold and the transaction has been completed. Lots of news has been released about that. That was with Polyant Games. That was for 800,000 USD, and they're forming a financial layer in the ecosystem. The second one we will be announcing here pretty soon, but there's also a very important role that they're playing in the ecosystem. So we're looking for people in the citadels, and if anybody is interested in this, please feel free to reach out. But we're looking for people who are willing to be like serious ecosystem partners who want to build something that is really truly amazing. It's not just like somebody who wants an expensive NFT to sit in their wallet and say, "Ooh, I have an expensive NFT." That's not what we're looking for. So we're kind of picky about how we build the partnerships.
Okay. Polyant Games definitely fits that criteria, right?
They're super cool. We've absolutely loved working with them.
Yeah, they have a cool project. Also, that I need to probably have them on the stream soon to learn more about. It's just
Sure.
every 5 minutes, it's just so much news, right?
Constant. It's nonstop, man.
Okay, so you mentioned providing economic incentives for these people in other countries that a dollar goes a long way.
Yeah.
What is something like the life cycle for Mirandus? Given that these people, if they kind of start to depend on this, is there going to be a Mirandus 2, or what's the planned life cycle looking like at this
We
point?
we want Mirandus to be something that lasts for many years. We're designing this in such a way that it will be a sorry, somebody's posting terms of service chunks. Thanks, Groove. Where basically this is going to be something that lasts for a long period of time and will grow and evolve. We are building a simulation, so how does the world grow and evolve? What happens? What happens when users in this world, for example, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of a mirror web. But essentially, if you think back to like your middle school ecology classes, when there's the class where they teach you about, if there are all of the wolves that eat all of the rabbits, then the plants that the rabbits eat will grow, out of control. If there are no wolves, then the rabbits will breed like crazy and they'll end up with rabbits everywhere, things like that. We're building a world that is supposed to grow and evolve. Okay, so there is going to be a great deal of emergent behavior on the part of the users and on the part of the world itself that will shape how this world develops. And so we look at this as a very long-term project. This isn't like a we're going to have a 2-year life cycle on this game and that's it. We want this to be something that 20 years down the road is still growing and still evolving with new content being added constantly. That's what we're looking for there.
Awesome. So we can look forward to playing Mirandus for a couple of decades.
A long time. I mean, this is a project of passion for all of us, guys. I mean, it's not just a game that we're just like knocking out and moving on to the next game. That's not how we look at this. This is our lives that we're putting into this and our passion. That's what we want to bring to the community, and we want to play this game as much as you guys do.
Awesome. Okay. I You can definitely tell the passion is there,
Oh
but
man,
not just from you, but from the community. Because
the whole community, the whole team.
I thought we were a bit wild, but you guys, it's definitely a pleasure to have all of you here right now.
I hope everyone sticks around in here too. I would like to see a much tighter integration with your community as
Yeah,
well.
people here, you have play to earn, we have hold to play. Like you learn and earn here. It's crazy. It's just it's a good ecosystem if we can kind of get mesh these two a little bit more together.
Love it.
Um, okay, so let's see. You're using blockchain, right?
Yes.
What's the competitive advantage, do you think, of Mirandus versus other non-blockchain games or non-blockchain based RPGs?
Well, I mean, okay, so it kind of works like this when you play a game, specifically in gameplay. What is the difference? Okay, so the way that I look at this is that when you play a non block well not non blockchain when you play a game that's an MMORPG that is not Mirandus, and I cannot speak to all of them. I clearly haven't played all of them. I wish I could, but God, you guys know I don't have that kind of time. The way that I look at it is that it's not just in ownership and things like that. It's in the actual gameplay experience. If we're building a simulation, okay, this is very different from the average role playing game, in which everyone is an adventurer. Okay, if everyone is an adventurer, okay, and NPCs are playing, the role of shopkeepers and whatnot, you have this experience that is to a lot of people somewhat limiting. For example, I am kind of like an adventurer, dungeon crawler sort of player. But there are a lot of people who are farmers, and they don't really like the idea of being a hack and slash, sort of dungeon crawler. They want to make wheat, and they want to make bread, and they want to play, various types of other life simulating aspects. So if you are really interested in being a horse breeder, for example, and you don't feel like going and, crawling through a dungeon and, whacking goblins with pointy sticks, you can breed horses, and you can supply people who need horses. You can run a farm. You can do, any number of other things. You can have a tavern, and you can make your job just to sit and hang out in your tavern and talk to people and sell them drinks. And that's like, that can be what you do in the game, and that can be your life. So we're really looking for something, we're really looking for something that has a spot for just about everybody. That's what we're looking for.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So it seems there's a lot of ways to interact with the game because
Oh, many,
not
many,
ne-
many.
not necessarily call it play, right? But a streamer can kind of go in there in the tavern, talk, sell some drinks, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of their revenue
Yeah.
type deal, right?
Sure.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And as this project is obviously huge with all those moving parts, if you want to call them that,
Yeah.
what is the funding looking like? Have you raised like in some rounds? What's going
We
on
are
there?
we are entirely self-funded. We never had an ICO. We've not brought in any funding from anyone. Not that we're necessarily opposed to the idea. It's just not needed at this point. So nobody sees any reason for us to sort of like bend over backwards to meet some sort of VC requirements or anything like that. It's all about it's all about building something that the community really likes, and for us, that the funding component isn't really a major consideration. I mean, obviously, we have to stay solvent and stay afloat, but as long as we keep building amazing things and people keep wanting NFTs, we're okay.
Excellent. Okay. So it is a project of love.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, for sure. Like this is one of those things that, if it was just about making money, it would just be another completely grindy mobile app. I mean, that can be done all day long. There's a literal science behind making money out of mobile apps. If that's what was wanted, then that's what would that we would be doing. But we're building something that's much more ambitious. Oh, and yes, actually, who just pointed that out? John, yes, the last Polyant vault just went on auction. Do you mind if I talk about that for just a second?
No, no, go for it.
Okay, so this is super cool. Like I said, we've partnered with Polyant Games. They were the ones that bought the first Citadel from us. And as part of this, they are creating a financial layer within the game. And one of the things that they do is they essentially will be providing the ability for people to store their items in these vaults. Okay, and this if you see this link here, if you're watching the stream, oh wait, where'd it go? Okay, yeah, the image went away, but this OpenSea link that John T just posted up here is a vault that people who are player characters that do not have a place to store their items will be able to go place their items. So if you have an NFT, for example, let's say you have a sword that is a special sword. You could go store this in the vault because you can't carry everything around with you all the time, right? It's just simply not realistic. So you go store this in the vault. Okay. Now, if another person comes along and they want to use it, they can rent it from the vault and then they can go use it on a quest. And after a certain number of hours, it has to be returned to the vault. It'll automatically, just simply be removed from your inventory, because when somebody is renting, it's not actually a blockchain transaction itself. It'll be a DB-based transaction. But anyway, what this essentially allows us to do is to have all sorts of really cool, like, built in-game DeFi components that people then can access. And the people who own the vault buildings themselves are specifically these Majestic vaults, have a very big piece of that ecosystem. And these buildings will be placed, think of these as like Gringotts in Harry Potter. Okay, where you have all of these vaults where you have your stuff in them. That sort of thing is what we're going for. So that, if that's something that you're interested in, that's definitely a good place to get involved in the Mirandus ecosystem.
Cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's store some stuff.
Yes. Homesteads, basically, if you own a deed, you will have some storage. So even if it's a homestead, you'll have, a small chest inside your homestead, for example. If you have a citadel, obviously, you're going to have, piles of chests and corners because, hey, you're a king, you do what you want. But if you're a normal player character, and again, there's only 1,625 deeds in the entire game. If you're a normal player character, you're limited in how much stuff you can carry. And so you need to have a place that you can do that. And the vault is where you can store all of that.
Okay, awesome. Um, uh, let's see. Uh, you guys are super excited. Again, thank you for coming over.
Hey, man, we're happy to be here.
Super helpful. I mean, I have my Townstar account that I need to, dust off again, and if someone's a pro, if one of you guys is a pro, hit me up, DM me, because I need to get back in there, because I burned my town down maybe twice, and I was like, man,
this is hard.
This is some work.
Talk to Ask a Capper. He's one of our moderators. He's in this stream here, or at least he was a little bit ago. I don't know if he's still here. But he is an absolute professional. He's a total pro, and he will walk you through. What needs to happen. He'll get you all set up. And in fact, with Townstar, there's going to be some cool updates coming pretty soon. This was dropped by Michael McCarthy. And basically in the next major update, wine is going to be coming in as an end product in Town Star. So in addition to cakes and blue steel and things like that, you'll be able to make several different varieties of wine, which will require you to make glass bottles and all sorts of interesting things like that. So it's going to be very, very, very cool.
Okay, I'm down for some wine. I'm down for
And
some wine.
let me so Musashi asked about the different types of vaults. There is only going to be one type of vault. There will be some smaller sizes, but the quantity and availability of those is yet to be determined. So the majestic vaults are the biggest, the bestest. That's if you want a vault, that's the vault that you want. And they're pretty cool. They will do amazing things.
I have a few more questions on Mirandus.
Sure, man. I got time. I don't have to go anywhere anytime soon, so I can take this for a while if you guys want.
Perfect, perfect. I think everyone's having a lot of fun, so it's no problem. This is the question, of course, that you must get second most. What's the current development status, and how are we on the timeline?
So we're looking at going into an alpha towards the end of this year. This is obviously, as you can see, a very ambitious project, and we are scaling as we're hiring new people constantly, interviewing constantly, and we're also working with some additional studios that will be helping with different bits and pieces of the development. Things are moving forward within the next. I think this is actually going to be released. Maybe I'm pretty sure, maybe before, but almost for sure at GalaCon at the end of the month, 27th and 28th. We're having an event, and you're going to be able to follow along with that in our Discord. We're going to be taking over the Gamer Jibe space, which is the same space that ETH Denver's in this coming week. And we're going to be having some interesting stuff, including like some old school actual tabletop gaming for the community. We're going to have some sponsored streaming competitions and some actually in-game competitions. There'll be a Townstar, blockchain-based game competition, and there's also going to be a few like pick a popular game, and we'll let people compete in that. We're going to be doing some voting on what games they want. But there is going to be a little bit of a footage reveal, hopefully, by that point in time.
So Gala is having a gala at the end of the month.
We are. We're having a gala at the end of the month. And that was something that I dropped really quickly in the announcement channel in our Discord, but I haven't released like the full, here is the plan. I plan on doing that here pretty soon, but I've been really busy.
I can't wait to attend virtually and be involved. Maybe by then, my town can survive more than 10, 15 minutes. So maybe I can compete a little bit in that.
I think you can work it out, man.
Okay. All right. So development status, end of year, alpha maybe. That sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big project. It's not like a really quick, just sort of throw it off and it's done thing. So it's going to be an evolving, constant development process in the future as well.
Cool. I'm just here picking out my gala outfit now because it's a gala, right? One must be fabulous.
Oh, obviously, I'm sure we can do a cloak like that, make it an NFT, and we'll make it wearable. We can do that.
Okay, I'm down. Another big question as far as development goes, or future after alpha and all that good stuff. What is the target player base and number? What are you guys calculating or looking forward to? Right.
I would like to see this to be quite large. I'd like to see at least 5-10 million players, maybe a lot more. I anticipate it'll actually end up being a lot more, but that's kind of the direction that we're thinking. 5 to 10 million at a minimum, I would say.
Wow. we need to boost the Discord even further.
Dude, see, this is one of the things. This is one of the things that's super, super, super important. And this actually zeroes back in on the discussion about like the Gala token itself. People look at the Gala token and they're like, oh my god, the supply of 50 billion tokens. Why so many? And we get that question a lot, and it's always interesting to me because when you look at most blockchain games are typically built by blockchain people and used by blockchain people, and these are people who are totally okay, and like most people in here are probably in this category. Like I'm fine, like, oh yeah, mnemonic phrase, I'll just write this down, that's no big deal, I'm totally used to this. And a private key, fine, I'll just store that private key in a safe place because I totally understand how all of this works. I get that, you guys all get that, but the average outside user doesn't. Okay. And this is why we see blockchain games that are kind of averaging at 5,000-6,000 DAU. Okay. And that works, and it's for a blockchain game, having 20,000 DAU puts you in the top, what, 2 probably. And so what we're doing is we're looking at this from the perspective of saying, okay, well, there's 2.4 billion gamers in the world. Okay, what do we have to do to build something that all of these gamers can join in and participate in, without having to worry over much about things? And so this is one of the things that we're very much working on, is kind of changing the flow and using Gala Games as a way to bring people into the ecosystem. And if you take that 50 billion Gala and you split it up between 1 million people, suddenly we're not talking about very much Gala at all. And if it's 10 million people, like, whoa, what's going on here? So that's kind of the direction that we look at things, is we're building this not for 5,000 or 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000. We're building this for millions of users, tens of millions of users, is kind of the direction that we target things. And so, yeah, it's just like a whole different perspective, I guess.
Okay. That sounds like an ambitious number, but your team has the track record for pulling in that kind of audience, right?
It is an extremely ambitious number, and one of the challenges, I mean, when we talk about technological challenges, is if we had 10 million gamers that were playing, it would break any 3 or 4 blockchains combined. I mean, just in terms of the transaction volume. Especially depending on how granular you make those transactions. Like, are we doing every single in-game action? Is that a transaction? Now, what happens if you have 10 million DAU? It gets really, really interesting in terms of the blockchain scaling. So that's one of the things that we're looking at right now. It's fun.
Okay. I'm here for the ride. All right, last question that I have on Mirandus, and then maybe,
sure.
Since you're good at looking at the chat and reading some questions that some people are asking, more game-related questions that I haven't gotten to because it's just too much.
It's too much.
But last question on Mirandus is, who are the top buyers at the moment, buying assets, and who's involved as like in the blockchain space or just in general?
We have a lot of different people who are. I mean, we have a lot of people on our Discord, obviously, who are extremely active in buying assets and buying nodes and things like that. In terms of like who they are as individuals, I don't honestly know. I mean, people can show up to our store and they can buy things that they want and transfer them wherever they want, and we don't have any sort of control over that. So yeah, I guess does that make sense? I don't honestly know who our main purchasers are. When they come and they talk to me and they say, "Hey, I just bought this thing. I'm super I'm super interested in this. Can you tell me more about it? Or I want to buy it. I'm super happy to talk to them. But in terms of like who they are as individuals, I don't always know. I think
Right,
that's
right.
kind of part of the
That's
blockchain ethos.
100% is. I meant more like, Polygon Games is
Oh yeah,
obviously the one that made the most noise. Is there any
right.
more projects or
Oh
or
yes.
public
Oh, don't worry.
individuals like
There's
that?
there's lots more. I can't talk about them right now, but there's definitely more coming that are. Um, I don't want to say in the same vein as Polyant, because Polyant is it's kind of its own thing and serves a very special place in the ecosystem. But there's a lot more stuff that we're talking about that will be announced here in the
Oh,
fairly near future.
okay. I'm here for the mystery.
I mean,
we'll,
it's the
we'll,
way it has to be, right? Like,
no, yeah. That it semi answers the questions of the same people of the same projects, the same caliber. That says enough.
yeah, there's
Uh,
yes, it's not like we just looked at the beginning of January and said, "I have one announcement. Okay, we're good for the year. We're out." I mean, that's not how that works.
Cool, cool. All right, if you want to look at the chat real quick,
Sure,
and
sure.
I have some written down that Nightmare sent over, but if you
Let's
see a
see
good one,
here.
go for it.
All these thank yous. Good lord, I'm just gonna go below the thank yous. How receptive are the iOS App Store gatekeepers to blockchain games? Not at all. They hate them. They really hate them because anything that gives you the ability to circumvent their profit, they're not a big fan of. Yeah, Becca nailed it. Perfect. When vaults are here, can I rent out NFTs for other partner games? Parts of this have not yet been exactly. We don't really have stakes in the ground for how all of this is going to work. I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility, but I don't want to say yes or no because it's just still in evolving process. I think that in a large part that will depend on the interface. I would imagine in the in-game interface, the gamified interface within the world of Mirandus itself, I would probably say no because like why would you rent out a laser rifle to somebody in Mirandus? Like you just wouldn't, right? Because it's medieval themed. But outside of that, there may be additional functionality. I don't know though. Let's see here. DeFi App Store. I wish I was a coder. You should be a coder, Rebecca. There's no reason that you can't be. Um, do 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 do. You can rent plots,
How
building
many
shops.
how many more building types are currently planned for the initial release of Mirandus? If you can
There's
really.
quite a few more building types. There's quite a few more building types that are going to be coming out that focus on different areas. So, if you look at this from the perspective of a simulated economy, right? So, if we've released one building type that references something else. So, for example, if we have, what's a good example here? If we have a tavern, okay, you have to have something to sell in a tavern, right? So if you have to have something to sell in the tavern, you need somebody who can, brew beer, okay, or make mead, which would indicate that there are certain types of buildings that may come from that, if that makes sense. So, like for example, last night we released a breweries to the node owners. They got drops of the NFTs. And there were some fortunate people who managed to get their hands on some of those wonderful things. And so, we have a lot more coming in that way, but we're kind of releasing them slowly over time, so that it kind of lasts a little bit while longer. And yes, there will definitely be plot plans and whatnot for the buildings themselves. And I'm super
Okay.
happy we're here, Evil. I mean, this is we're really enjoying this. Will some of the production be automated, or will with golems or some other magical way? It is not feasible, I think, to say that every single thing that is made has to be done completely by the player character. In all likelihood, what you'll probably see is something that's a lot more how would I put this, kind of town star adjacent, where you have farmers that do certain things and they perform certain tasks and they get water and they deal with the farming, and then your job is to step in from time to time to perform certain tasks, if that makes sense.
Cool. Lange
Whale rain.
He always asks really, really good questions. So, see, he's there
Oh,
again
lunch.
with another good.
How,
Yeah.
how many players are needed for the game to be sustainable? Well, it really depends on what you count sustainable as. I mean, if it's we're basing this more on a an evolving model of an completely integrated ecosystem, which we will play a part of. So the total number of players that will be required is to keep the game afloat, as you term it, which is a perfectly good term, especially since we're in a whale chat. I think that that is going to have to be tuned as we go forward. But we're building this in such a way that we want it to be as self-sufficient as possible. Can you give an insight on how deeds land on the map? It can't be a land rush. Would it start from biggest to smallest? Okay, so the deeds themselves, and correction, Becca, there's 1,000 homesteads, 1625 deeds total. So the way that this will work is, I want you to imagine a very large world. Okay, this is not a world that is like the Sandbox or Somnium Space or something like that, where there's like plots. Okay, when you have a certain number of plots, you have this big giant world that is filled with empty space. You can go out into that world with your deed, and you can find a place that you want to be yours, and you can put your deed down. And it's like, making a homestead claim when you were heading out into, the prairies or something like that. Now, there will be like probably some border limits, so you probably can't like put your land directly on top of somebody else's. But other than that, we want this to be pretty open. The world is a big place, and as the simulation of the world, we want Mirandus to also be a big place, so that it's not just a bunch of stuff all clustered together. We want there to be breathing room. I've seen a lot of talk about shop owners and tending to your shop land. What if I want to adventure? Do I have to close my tavern down? Are there going to be quests across the regions? Or are the quests helping the towns? Yes, there are going to be quests. No, you don't have to shut down your tavern. You can totally just leave it there. Certain parts of it are going to be automated, I guess is the best way to put it. It's kind of like if you go to a shop and you want to buy something, you don't need the other person like sitting on the other side of the counter going, okay, yes, I approve. It's going to be it's going to be automated. So if you want to wander away, that's fine. If you don't keep your shop stocked, then obviously there's going to be a problem. It eventually runs out of stuff, and that's sad, and then you have an empty tavern. But nobody wants empty taverns.
I'm looking at the taverns right now. There seems to be quite a few left. I'm like, 0.06 ETH. I
Yeah,
need a
there's
business. I need a business.
and the taverns are going to be really cool. Okay, so Miranda's communication from General Kaizen, voice or text. I would say definitely that voice is going to be a part of it. Text may be a part of it, but it is not going to be like we don't want there to be. Sort of when you play a typical MMORPG and everyone's just like text spamming, looking for tank, looking for tank, looking for tank, and there's just like this wall of like that you see everywhere. We don't want that. We would like it to be an experience where you walk up to somebody and say, hey, I'm going to go on an adventure. Do you want to come? You look like you could handle it. And they say, yeah, okay, sure, let's go. Or they don't, but that's kind of the feeling that we want from this. We want it to be organic, and as true to the natural world as possible. Okay, Lange. Since some NFTs might not be transferable to other games, if the game goes down, what will happen to those NFTs? What makes it different than if Blizzard closed Diablo 3 on that part? So there's a couple interesting things here. The first is that so a hypothetically terrible situation, if all of us get together for a big gigantic meeting, and a small asteroid streaks out of space and wipes out the entire team all at once. All of our game developers and all of our everything, which would make me personally really sad because those are really cool people and I don't want that to happen. But if that happens, then obviously the development of Mirandus probably would not continue. It would be silly to just have me say that, oh yes, obviously magically it would, because that doesn't make any sense. But what is interesting here is that it then becomes possible for another person to come along and say, you know what, that's a really great community. That's a really great community. They have these NFTs. They really want a place to use them. So I'm going to take these NFTs and put them in my game, which is something that, because of the decentralized nature of blockchain, they could totally do. And they could, easily integrate them. They're easily indexable, and they just then have a different functionality in their game. One of the things that we've talked about that we would like to do at some point in time, for example, is to build in CryptoKitties, okay, to make it so that if somebody wants to have a cat show up in their, Townstar farm or something like that, and they happen to have a CryptoKitty in their wallet, then a cat, maybe it's a generic cat, maybe it's something that kind of looks like, their CryptoKitty or something. Don't know exactly how that would work yet, but we can totally put that in and, make it indexable, so that then you can, see it and use it in your game. To answer Musashi's question, these are called visual targets. Okay, so these are not necessarily gameplay footage. We do have gameplay footage. It's just not quite as polished as this. But this is definitely something that 100% we can hit. It's not going to be this is not like the sort of thing where they show you this beautiful, beautiful picture and then, the actual game looks like it's a stick man with a soccer ball head. That's not the direction we're going. These are visual targets that I am positive that we can hit. So the total engine right now is not 100% confirmed. They're doing a lot of the sample work and the ecosystem work right now in Unreal. That I do know. The guild utility, actually the guilds at this point in time are entirely player created. They're not anything that we have any control over whatsoever. So it's it's super cool to kind of watch it develop, because one day there was no guilds and then somebody created a guild channel in the Discord and then there was like 20 guilds. So that was a really, really cool thing. Yeah. Gravy Gang Guild. Represent.
The Gravy Gang. Oh, I need to get caught up with the lexicon of Mirandus and Gala Games.
Well, Euclid likes to put gravy on potatoes. We have a history of potatoes. We exchanged the first non-fungible potato about 2 years ago. He posted something on Twitter saying, somebody send me Bitcoin for this potato and I will send you this magical potato. So I sent him Bitcoin for the potato, and he delivered it to a homeless shelter for me, because I was in Thailand at the time and could not accept delivery of a magical potato. And
I'm
he said that it
glad.
rained down like manna. So you guys should definitely listen to his, go watch his show because he tells the potato story very well.
You have a show, Crypto Euclid.
Yes, he does. He does.
Drop the link. Drop the link.
Euclid and Oaks. They're definitely worth checking out, and they're both wonderful, amazing people. Both of them, both Euclid and Oaks. I want to emphasize that I said Oaks this time.
Oh, I
Just
did. I did see a small clip where Oaks was saying that it was too difficult to play. That Townstar was too difficult for Crypto Euclid to understand. I
right.
remember seeing that now. Yep.
Patrick Starr,
Um,
please take care of your health. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. There you go.
excellent. Excellent. If you want to learn this, I'm a more visual person anyway, so go check them out for more Gala Games info. If you want to take like two more questions, and
Sure, man.
then what I want to do is GG, and he usually plays the games here like Gods Unchained, Crypto Motors. What else do we play? Blancos,
Right,
Block
right.
Beat. So he takes care of all these streams. So I want to see if he can get into Townstar and maybe
Absolutely.
have you back and play with him. Maybe even Crypto Euclid, kind of give him the rundown to teach us how to make some money.
We could do Crypto Euclid. Ask a Capper would also be fantastic. He's can I talk about you a little bit? Ask a Capper. Can I do that, man? I think I'm going to. So I think I'm just going to. He is. I don't have any other way to say this, and I don't know if this is going to be like tripping into like politically incorrect territory. I don't know, but the dude plays with his face. So like I can't explain it any other way than that. He is handicapped to a certain extent, and he plays the games with his face, and he is absolutely freaking amazing.
that
He's
that is
amazing, and he live streams, and he's really solid. He can play games with a controller and his face way better than I can, and he is a fantastic comedian as well. Like he's just incredible. So definitely check him out. And he's also a moderator in our Discord and in our Telegram, and one of my favorite people. And he's totally cool. So if you want to do an amazingly kick-ass stream with somebody, do it with him.
I'm
He totally worth it.
totally down. I'll get Gigi in set up on with that. We also have the Elite Gaming server that
Right.
Whale Shark launched his own clothing brand. So I think we're moving more of our streams that are related to gaming. Like we had the project showcase here, but when we get
Nice.
ready to play the game, we can do it over there. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna
lots of
join this. Okay. I need to get like I legit need a. Oh, there we go. In the elite server, I need to get a like a serious fat man hoodie because
that those hoodies are aces, man. So good, so good.
definitely gonna check it out because I just cannot get decent hoodies. So
Word on the street is that they're almost sold out because we had a large order. So
I'm
just
sure.
say it. Just
I'm
say
sure. I'm sure. Okay. I'll move on that. I'll move on that.
yeah. All right. All right. Okay. So yeah, if you want to take like two more questions and then
Sure.
we'll
Sure.
wrap it up for a bit. Yeah.
Will there ever be more plots released in Mirandus? Okay, so I want to deal with this just really quick. Where there will not be more deeds within this particular world space. Okay, one of the things that has been discussed is the idea, and this God, if I say this, people are going to go nuts. Yes, you can buy as many deeds as you want. Evil, that's fine. But one of the things that has been discussed by people is that there may be an aquatic sort of part of the universe that potentially goes from there. And so if that were to be the case, then there would be additional types of deeds that would be necessary to meet specific roles. Like, for example, there might have, and this is entirely hypothetical at this point in time, please. So don't like run and say, well, Jason said this. But there will be potentially things like docks and little shipyards and stuff like that, which does not fit within the realm. I mean, like, you can't park a shipyard in the middle of a city. Like, it just doesn't work. That's an extra thing that has to be built outside. So there may be additional things like that that come on. And mines. Yes, well, other things like that as well.
Heard it here first, folks.
So this is all stuff that has been discussed. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming, guys.
Sick. I'm excited for the wine. If anything, I'm excited for the wine.
Dude, for Townstar, yeah, no, it's gonna be really cool. Like, it's gonna be really cool. What about the many people who buy mini deeds and stop playing? What about the buildings that will just be unused? Will they just stay there abandoned? Okay, so we actually have a kind of cool thing for this. And I think that you'll really like this, and this is not something that anyone else has heard, so this is just for you guys. For citadels, for example, that have not been purchased, if there are still citadels that haven't been purchased by the time the game is released. Now, as I said earlier, these are all of the citadels are entirely custom built based on the requirements of the people that we work with. So they're very they're not like your normal like thing that you just stamp down. Okay, so they're very unique with custom architecture, custom bits of culture, things like that. Very, very special. In the event that those haven't been purchased, there is going to be... sorry, reading again. I must stop reading questions. The citadels that have not been purchased will be displayed as ruins, okay, that just kind of take up a spot in the world. And then in the event that another person comes along and purchases a citadel, then there will be a gradual reconstruction process as we design and integrate that citadel into the world. So if people haven't, placed deeds themselves, there's a few different ways that we can handle that. We can either, if somebody were to completely sit on all of the deeds and not use them, we could make the deeds that exist larger as we needed to accommodate more players and shops and things like that. There's a lot of different things that we can do. Hold on, let me go deal with this question. I have to say one thing I do not like about DCLGU is they develop... Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, we do have Linux nodes, by the way, just throwing that out there. And I'm sorry about the banging in the background. They're beating on a wheelbarrow like right outside my window. It's super irritating.
I'm surprised that my neighborhood here has been so quiet, so no worries about that.
Okay. That's that.
One more question, ladies and gents, and we will continue the next stream with some gameplay. At a later date, but yes.
Definitely. Okay. Do you have one more question, or I feel like I should let you guys have the final question here.
No. I'm having a good time enjoying and listening to all the leaks.
All the leaks, right? Let's see. Oh, goodness. So much. Okay, guys, how about this? I'm just going down to the bottom. Somebody asked me an amazing question. Go. Okay, here, perfect. Can a deed be moved around freely or at cost if uninhabited? So basically, the way that this is looking right now is that if you place a deed and there's nobody on that deed, you should be able to pick it up and go on to somewhere else if you want. This is one of the reasons that I personally like the homesteads, because I see the homesteads as a great way to kind of have an adventuring base in a box, if that makes sense. A mobile save point, if you will. And so you can, put it down, put your own little crafting station on it, and then do the stuff that you need to do, and then pick it up and go on your way. If the deed is inhabited and other people have went ahead and placed their shops, those would be basically determined, whether or not you could move it would be determined based on the arrangement that you have with the shop placer, the renter, essentially. So we're going to be building within this a simplified, very, very easy to put together, like smart contract structure, where essentially you make a deal with somebody and they, pay X amount for a month. And then from there, after that is expired, then you can pick your thing up if they don't decide to pay again. And I mean, it's like the real world. How does renting work? That's kind of what we're going to simulate. And so that's essentially it. That's what we're working on. So I think that was 2 questions, but we'll go with that.
No worries. The more info, the better. Cool. All right, y'all. I posted the link again to the Gala Discord. If you have
Awesome.
further questions, reach out to them. As you can see, everyone's super, super helpful, super, super bullish, and just all around good vibes. So get your questions asked over there. Jump into Townstar if you really like those types of games. I'm sure you'll have a great time. I need to dust it off again and get back in there. Jason, thank you so
My
much.
pleasure, man. Hey, this was a lot of fun.
It was super informative. We got down to the nitty gritty of what is Gala, what is Mirandus, and then at a later date, as we stated on the elite server, we can do some in-depth gameplay of Townstar. So I can't wait for that, man.
Awesome.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And you give my best to Whale Shark and the entire community. And I look forward to being able to work with you guys more closely in the future.
Same here. I will post to your Twitter and the Gala Twitter again. Give this great team a follow, and keep up to date with the news. I know there's a lot going on these days,
There's a
but
lot.
it's not every day that you find a good, solid project with good intentions, as such as this one. So
There's a lot going on.
yeah, ladies and germs, we will catch you over in all the servers, in all the streams, very, very soon. Again, thank you to our guest. Go and treat the Gala Discord as these wonderful people treated us here. And yeah, man, we'll talk very soon. Thank you. Enjoy the rest
Awesome.
of your day, everyone. Thank you for coming through, and we'll speak very, very soon. Peace
Okay.
out, y'all.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Peace.
So I'm going to be here on the stream for just a few minutes. Let me pop over here and drop it. Oh, that's the top secret Gala Gold. Oh, gosh, can't let you guys see that. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. Thanks to the Whale Shark community for hosting me. And I look forward to a lot more integration and connection with you guys. And so now I'm going to end the stream, and I'm going to stand here with my thumb up until it goes away, and then I'm going to click the kill button, and we'll go from there. So thank you guys, and I'll talk to you all soon.